What's up, YouTube? Hope everything is well. Today I have an amazing guest. I have Andrés, same name as me, to be fair, with a different letter. Most of you guys may not know Andrés, but Andrés is an amazing pre-modern collector, and I always love to follow his page on Instagram that I think you guys all should take a look. It's a pleasure to have you with me, Andrés. Thank you so much for accepting the invite, and share some words with my viewers that may not know you, why they should follow you on Instagram, your story in the hobby, basically.
All right. Name is Andrés. My IG is champvanderford. So the name basically comes from, I remember about 20 years ago, there was like this thing that said that your porn star name would be the first name of your first, dog, and the street that you grew up on. So my first dog was Champion. So I took the name Champ, and then Vanderford was the street that I grew up on. So I decided to come up with Champ Vanderford, something different, something that, it's just funny too. But yeah, man, been in the hobby. Actually started in the hobby really, really early. I mean, I'm talking like 1990, probably 89, 90 with cards, like as far as baseball, basketball. I wasn't hardcore, but that was my thing, was buying packs, right? And then slowly, got into, just other things, comic books, was really big into X-Men. Oh my God. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just, a whole bunch of stuff from back in the day, G.I. Joe, Transformers. I was like, first movie I cried in was Transformers back in like 84. So, man, Optimus Prime died. I was in tears, my man. So basically I was into it till about 94, 95. And then I got out. So the last cards I bought actually were like in 95, I want to say. And this was before everything was really the way it is now. The slabs, BGS, all this stuff, I think was just starting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about that at all. It was literally just buying it for fun, right? And then I left, came back hardcore, I want to say in March of 2021. I just came on. I knew that I wanted to do something different. And, I've always been a sports guy, man. I love sports. I love, basketball, soccer, just, sports, boxing, just like everything. Right. And, man, I found a treasure trove. I found a place that was incredible for me. You know what I mean? Like it was a feeling of like, I knew these players. I used to do cards. I used to open packs. So that was big for me to be able to do something that I hadn't done in, 20 plus years. Because when I left the hobby, I left, I grew up basically, right? And to come back into it immediately, it was like, I wanted to buy everything. I started off with basketball. That went bad really fast, probably about a week. After a week, I decided like, you know what? It's either going to be basketball or football. And I was loving football. I was liking R9. I was liking seeing all these cards on eBay. And then it was just like, man, I remember that era. We used to play FIFA. That's how we basically like kept up with who was good, by knowing their ranking on FIFA. You know what I mean? Because here in America, they weren't showing games like that. So it was like FIFA would be the game, you know what I mean? That kind of told you who's really good, who's not. And man, I just jumped in. I started off with the little list, 100 something players. I went crazy because I knew that was going to be impossible for me, right? Because the way I am, I'm very methodical about it. Like I focus on a player. I immediately surround that player. And what I'm saying is I start to look up every release for that player, every year, every release, starting with the rookie, second year, third year. I look at every release. I look at what's common online, what you could easily find. Then I'll look at the stuff that you see occasionally, and then the stuff that you only see on people's pages. So you already kind of know what's weighted as far as what's rare, what's not, what's out there in abundance. And then you just start to slay. You just start to be like, okay, this, I want this one. Boom, I want this one. And once you do that for certain players, for a small amount of players, I feel like right now I could collect any player. I could just draw a player out of a hat and I would know how to attack, right? I know how to like research, how to like see if he's popping, if he's someone that is relevant, if he's someone that's going to go slowly progress, because there's some players that just slowly rise over time.
No,
just
for sure.
based on their, right? It's just based on their, what's it called, like greatness. And
hey, cheers, my friend.
yeah, cheers, man. And yeah, man, I just started attacking, and I really focused on 5 players. I felt that those 5 players were the ones that really touched me, as far as like, you know, I felt them. It's kind of like when you eat something. Obviously, the big guy talking about eating. It's kind of like when you eat something and it takes you back to your mom's house, your grandma's house. When I see these stickers and cards, I go back to that. Like, I literally go back to, you know, seeing them in World Cups and seeing them on YouTube and seeing them, you know, the stories about them. Because early, like way back in the day, we actually heard about certain players and about goals that they did. Because it just wasn't here in America. The you know, news wasn't that crazy with soccer. So it was
for
tough.
Sure. No, Andres,
but
like I was saying, I mean, I love to follow your page because of that. You really focus in one player, you go quite all in on that player, and then you go into another player. And I honestly think that that's great. I remember you started watching my videos very early when I started the channel. I feel like, at least. And I saw your growth as a collector. To be honest, and I think you probably agree with me on that. I saw you maybe going from not that focused to start attacking certain players that, in particular, Ronaldo. But I guess we are going to talk about that a little bit more in depth on the podcast. But yeah, I mean, it's great to have you with me. I consider you another pre-modern collector like me, and yeah, I mean, it's great. So the way this works, I know you are already aware, is I have 5 questions and end up asking you to have also another 5 questions to ask me a couple of, to also interact with me. I think that's a little bit more fun. So yeah, basically, I guess you already know how this works. I ask you a question, you ask me another question, and we go back and forth, okay? So, Andrés, can I start? If you have anything to say before I start, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hi to my kids, Andrea and Hector, Saco, y Gordito. I love y'all. I'm sure they're going to be watching this over again. So, love y'all. I'm ready. I'm focused.
That's fantastic. So, question number 1 I have for you. And I think it's fair to say this to all my viewers, repeating myself again, but you are one of the biggest Ronaldo Nazario Lima collectors I know, talking about the Brazilian Ronaldo, o fenómeno. My question for you is actually quite simple. Top 3 favorite Ronaldo Nazario Lima stickers or cards in your collection, the ones that you really like. I'm not talking about value in terms, it's not the most expensive, the ones you really like because, I don't know, maybe you find the card beautiful or tells a story for you.
Yeah, man, I'm obsessed with R9. There's no other way around it. It's just a player that's amazing, right? I mean, he if you saw him, you saw supernatural. You saw, you know, out of this world, you know, alien. Like he was literally from another planet. And man, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many. I'd have to say, I really like the action shot number 91, 1994.
Football 95.
Yeah, that one for me is just, you see him so lanky, so skinny, so slim, but you know, he just looks pure. You know, he just looks like gold in that shot. You know, I also like I can't even lie, man. This one right here, I just want to grab this one because this is love this.
I love that one. That card is really difficult to find.
I love this one. I love that one. And the other one would be the 1998 Italian release, which is right here. This one, this right here.
Ooh, that's another beautiful card. I would say
I love this one right here.
That's a little bit more easy to find than the other ones. I think it's fair to say. But again, is an amazing card, and sometimes you don't need to break a bank to have an amazing card in your collection. That's a very good example of that. So,
I love. I love those two.
Andrés, in this case, now what I would ask you is you ask me one question, then I will go to your second.
All right. So my first question is, who are the best players, in your opinion, to never win the World Cup, the Champions, and the Ballon d'Or?
Okay, that's a difficult question.
The answers. Yeah, it's like a three-part.
Okay, I will try to give you two players per World Cup, Champions League, Ballon d'Or. World Cup for me is quite easy. I would say Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, because those guys are so great and they never won World Cup. Champions League is a little bit more difficult, but one that is super obvious is Ronaldo, the Brazilian one. The other one, I'm a little bit unsure, because for me it's between Buffon, one of the best goalkeepers ever. It's crazy to think that Buffon never won Champions League, or Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic also such an important player in this era that. But I would go with Buffon. I think Buffon is a little bit more historical as a player. The Ballon d'Or is also, I would say, quite easy for me. I would go with Thierry Henry. I think it's crazy that Thierry Henry never won Ballon d'Or. I honestly think it's completely crazy, especially because he lost to Nedved. And Nedved was a great player, but Nedved never was Thierry Henry level. It is what it is. The other one, probably I would go with Iniesta. I could go with Xavi. I think Xavi will. It's difficult. I always struggle with that. I'm going with Iniesta because I thought, look, when Iniesta scored that goal on the final of the World Cup, that was the moment to give Iniesta Ballon d'Or, if they want to give Ballon d'Or to Iniesta. So, yeah, that's my answers. But we can discuss that a little bit more in depth later. So, question number 2, André. I know you are very excited by the National. I think you are going to the National. And tell me in a few words, what is your main goal going to the National this year? What you want from the National? Expectations? Not sure if I'm explaining myself well.
Yeah. So really, I'm going to help, for us, meaning what we hunt, right? To just kind of have a presence there. I think slowly but surely, eventually, we're the plan is to be, for there to be one or two big shows that our style could go, right? And I think that there would be awesome. I mean, it just feels like a place that is going to have a lot of, flow, a lot of people, a lot of just culture as far as collecting autographs, cards, tickets, like everything, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to go there and marinate in that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be close to the source of where all this is at. I've never been to a show, so this is going to be like a roller coaster for me, right?
So almost a social experience in a way, right?
Totally for me. This is my mom and dad signed the slip and I could go on a school field trip. So I'm ready, man. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm thinking it's really going to be an experience for me.
No, and I believe I said that on your Instagram live. That's why people should also follow your Instagram, because you, from time to time, you do a crazy lives there. But I think you are a great representation of the hobby. Honestly, it's crazy the passion that you show for players like Ronaldo, Iniesta, etc., that you try to collect almost everything that is important for those players. And I admire that quite a lot. Look, I collect a lot of players, and I said this on my Discord. I actually admire more the collector that just collects one, two, three players, but tries to collect everything, you know. And I'm not on that boat at all. I collect a lot of players, but I admire that type of collector, you know. Sometimes I follow a random guy on Instagram that just collects Michael Jordans. And I think that's great, honest. I think it's beautiful to see, or even a random player could be even another basketball player. That will even be more impressive since, again, he's maybe not collecting the best, but still trying to tell the history of certain players. So I wish you the best at the national. I'm not going, but I think a lot of people will try to meet you. I'm pretty sure about that.
I hope so. No, and the plan is to like be live too. So I'm trying to take a shooter. What that means is not like someone with the gun, right? Shooter is just someone that could shoot and like film me. So my sexy self could be like Brad Pitt, on the national, walking around and talking to people.
That would be amazing.
And so, I'm probably going to take basically, like one of my staff and just be like, yo, let's just go to the beach for 4 days. Record me. It's going to sound a little crazy, but just because, I feel like for me, it's going to be fun. It could be rainy. It could be, bad weather. I'm going to have fun. Like I'm going to wake up, orange juice, champagne, start off the day properly, and just be focused on just bringing the right energy, meeting people. There's so many people that I want to take a picture with, like, you know what I mean? Like just certain folks that I admire, I follow. So I'm hoping that, that people bring a good energy. I think we will meet each other and find a way to hang out one day as far as people that do like pre-modern. And that's what I'm honestly looking forward is to whenever there's a little trade night or something for our thing that I can link up with people. I'm taking stuff to sell. I still haven't sold yet. I'm still 100%, pure. But yeah, man, it's something that I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready.
Okay, shoot me your second question.
All right. So my second question is, what is your favorite in-game experience out of all the games that you've gone to in your life? What is clearly number one for you that you were there in the flesh? Andrés yelling, Andrés going crazy. Like what is that experience that you could tell us a little story about,
Okay, so to be fair, I just go to Benfica games. That is my team, is the only thing I care. But I will actually answer in a different way. I would say a great memory that I have from going to a stadium was not even a match, was actually a training session. I was studying in a specific region in Portugal. I was in the university, and the Portuguese national team ended up going to that region, preparing, I believe World Cup 2010, and that was the first time I saw Cristiano Ronaldo. So I don't know. I have that memory. I always thought Cristiano Ronaldo was a little bit more strong. He's actually quite skinny in person. But I don't know if this is a great answer for you. But I thought this. I don't know. I admire Cristiano Ronaldo a lot, and the first time I saw Cristiano Ronaldo, it was amazing for me because I just saw it on TV and then saw it in person. And I also remember seeing Eusébio on Estádio da Luz. Eusébio, very very long ago at this point, but Eusébio used to go to watch almost every Benfica game, so it was actually quite common to see Eusébio around the stadium, and living legend right at the time. So, but I never took a photo or something like that, which is a shame, to be fair.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Awesome. All right.
So, question number 3 for you. Last card you bought and why?
Yeah, I can actually check. just to be fair, right?
Of course.
Uh-oh, this could get scary. Oh, okay, you said
The
last
last
card.
one, last one.
Last card I bought is a 1997 Navarrete Copa America Ronaldo PSA 9. I didn't know until after I bought it that there's no 10s and no 8s and only one 9.
Oh, really?
So I didn't know that before I bought it. I just bought it because I wanted that one in like a high grade. So it was on my little list. And I needed it, got it.
No, I know exactly the card you're talking about.
So,
very, very young Ronaldo
it actually
still.
went kind of high. It was like 470, which
really?
For me, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I didn't think other people, I guess I see why it had a premium on it now. Nobody was going to win that card from me. Once there's certain cards and stickers that once they pop up, it's daddy pop time. Like I knew that I was going to get that. I was happy with it. I love that one. His face, he looks so young. He looks, 1997. He's still pure. He's still king. He's still.
I actually want to do a video talking about that Navarrete in general, because Navarrete is I'm not sure if you know this, he's from Peru. It's kind of like Panini that in Peru, and they have a lot of cool product. They also release product in Brazil, Colombia, I believe Mexico also. Basically, they have all, not sure right now, but in the past they have a very good control of South America. So yeah, cool sticker for sure. Yeah, shoot me your question.
Is definitely coming up on the market. I feel that there's going to be a lot more of it coming up.
Yeah,
like
the production.
4 or 5 years, there's going to be a lot of it. There's going to be a lot of it coming up.
No, the production should be similar to Panini because, yeah, people in South America they also love to collect
that
stickers.
whole market. They wow. All right. Okay, so here we go. So do you want the easy one or do you want the hard one? Because
the hard one.
The hard one? Okay. What is your method to hunting these types of players? And the players are, the first ones are Messi and CR7. How do you hunt those two? And then how do you hunt players like Zidane and R9? And the last part of the question, how do you hunt Portugal players and legends? How is that a part of your PC that you're passionate that you have in this corner, and then you have other players that you love, GOATs? Like how do you deal with Portugal as your baby, right? Okay. So the method of your hunting.
That's a difficult question. Okay, let's start with Ronaldo and Messi. Well, Messi, of course, eBay. I mean, I'm not even trying to complicate. eBay is a good resource. But I also think when you start talking about Messi, you should take a look at Spanish websites like Toda Coleção, Mil Anuncios. Those two, I would say, are quite popular. There is Wallapop. There is a lot. And also eBay Spain, something that a lot of people forget to do research. A lot of good stuff on eBay Spain. So I would say that way. And of course, look, when I was starting, buying raw grading was more my type of thing. I still do a lot of that, but right now I feel like my collection is at one point that kind of makes sense to buy already graded, because I'm also selling graded. So it kind of goes both ways, but that's how that's why how I tend to search for Messi. I don't have any specific trick. I do basically what other people do, but the key, in my perspective, is actually grinding almost every day those markets, because if you one day do not go to eBay Spain, that day you'll end up missing something. And and also being very patient, because sometimes you see stuff and think, you know what, maybe I should wait a little bit more. And I think that's super important. For Cristiano Ronaldo, I would say it's a little bit more easy for me because I grind in Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo, I have a couple of connections, a couple of collectors that I know in Portugal. There is similar sites to Toda Coleção, Mil Anuncios. I believe most people know at this point. The name is OLX. The name of the site is OLX. It's a very popular website in Portugal. One thing that I would say to my viewers is be careful, because there is a lot of scammers there, because we know when there is money to be made, there is scammers. Okay, yeah, for me, Cristiano Ronaldo, I would say, is a little bit more easy, because I know other Portuguese collectors. Now I go to actually the final one that you said, Portuguese players. I'm in a weird spot right now, because I want to collect more Portuguese players. My collection, to be fair, for Portuguese players, I have a little bit of Eusébio. I bought, I'm not sure if you saw on my Instagram, I bought a Piroteu, a legendary player from Portugal, very recently. Oh, yeah. And of course, I have a good amount of Cristiano Ronaldo, but I want to expand a little bit more in the future. I would love to collect players like Deco, Paulo Futre, that they are still quite cheap, but for my personal collection, they will be fun. I just don't think this is the moment, to be honest with you, because I think there is still so much opportunity on a player like Cristiano Ronaldo that I really want to grind that market first before I go into a market that I know I kind of have time, if that makes sense. What was in the middle? I'm sorry, Andrés.
And Zidane and R9.
Okay, for Zidane cards are not easy, to be fair, because on eBay they don't appear that often. Again, eBay, I use eBay a lot. I use eBay France, and sometimes on eBay France, there is a couple of interesting stuff. I also use a website. I'm giving all my tricks away, by the way, but I use a website.
People want to know.
I use a website, Le Bon Coin. Is actually, there is a website in Portugal with the name Custo Justo that is connected with that website in France, Le Bon Coin. You need to have an address on France, but I have a virtual address in France, so I have everything controlled that way. And I use other websites like Vinted. There is a couple of websites in Europe, but it's not easy, honestly. The French market is a little bit tricky. I don't know. I always find difficult to find stuff on France. Seems like they don't come that often. For Ronaldo is a complex one, but it's a beautiful case in the other end, because Ronaldo, you can grind in different fronts. You can go to Todo Coleção to find beautiful cards with Real Madrid, with Barcelona on 96, 97. And you can go to eBay Italy, for example, to try to find Ronaldo cards on at this time in Inter Milan. So Ronaldo is a little bit over the place, because you need to go to that. That's why it's actually so fun to collect Ronaldo. The other ones are a little bit more target. I guess, to be fair, I guess you can say Zidane, and he also have cards in England, etc. But Ronaldo ended up being great at Barcelona, being great at PSV, being great at Inter Milan, that you really need to grind different areas. But yeah, I mean, the advice I can give to my viewers, and they already know this, to be fair, is you need to grind different places. If you just target eBay, I mean, there is a lot of great stuff on eBay, but there is also a lot of great stuff in European websites that you probably can, that you can probably get for cheap. So yeah, my question for you right now. This is a tricky one, because I will explain why this is a tricky one. Buy one, sell one, hold one.
Man, okay.
Be ready. Ronaldo, Valderrama, and Ronaldinho. And I know Ronaldinho.
Man, this is. Okay. This is a good one.
Go ahead.
Let me just say that the alcoholic liquids are starting to affect the senses. The answers might start getting a little more philosophical, like I was Socrates or Confucius, right? Or Bruce Lee, even. So here we go. Ronaldo, Valderrama, Dino. Damn. I would say buy Valderrama.
All right.
And we're like going to come back to this, right?
Of course. Don't worry.
All right. So buy El Pibe. Um, hold R9, hold them like a teddy bear is held by a child. Just clutch them.
Okay.
Hold them 9-10 years, like at least 9. Get it? 9. And I would say sell Dino, because Dino right now he's I hate to say it, but way more popular as far as currently that he recently played, and he was someone that was around that era of YouTube, of TV, of so he kind of had like, you know, a little more exposure.
Andres, first videos at least I believe, I could be wrong, that I end up searching.
Crossbar, the shoe?
Yeah, the crossbar and tricks with the ball. Those are the first videos I end up searching on YouTube, was videos for Ronaldinho. Well, to be fair, even for Roberto Carlos, players like that. But for Ronaldinho, I remember searching a lot of stuff.
Now, him, I think is the sell right now. Okay. His pop reports are still low. I mean, and he doesn't have, I feel, a lot of early stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a lot less than other players, so it makes it interesting. Like, it makes it like, whoa, like it's, we're now in 2022, and there's certain things that have pop 11, and it's like, whoa, what does that mean? Does that mean that sticker is really that rare? What's going on? So yeah, that's a good question though. I like that one.
Oh yeah, shoot me your fourth question.
All right, so this one gets a little personal.
Okay.
This one gets a little personal. Pop just wants to know, right? And I'm sure everyone wants to know this one. What is your daily routine from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? Obviously, don't give us details on the family life. That's personal, right? But just, as you, what is it? How, at what times do you grind? What points are you finding those times that you could sneak in some time? At what point are you at home? Are you at your setup? What point are you out and about in Portugal, but you have your phone on you? What's your day, your basic daily routine within regards to the hobby? And like I said, the family stuff, keep that simple and brief if you want, because that's obviously personal. And from the moment, Andre starts to nap.
Okay, let me think. I I wake up quite early. I like to wake up early, probably 7 a.m. A little bit, it depends, but around that time. Then I like to take a shower when I wake up. So I guess the best way to start this is actually work at home, since I work with the affiliated marketing, but my degree, and I ended up having a master's degree, was was actually public administration. So I'm not working on that. To be fair, I work in a different environment, if that makes sense. I work with when I say affiliated marketing, I'm talking about Google Ads, Facebook Ads, stuff like that. I have a couple of companies that I do work for. I leave the house, I would say, almost every day to go to my accountant, stuff like that. I always have stuff to do outside of the house, but I have a lot of free time to be fair. And I have notifications on my computer that if something appears on eBay, I will automatically go, no matter what I'm doing, with some exceptions, of course. But I'm grinding. I would not say all the time, but I'm always paying attention to the market. I always have, like I said, I have a good amount of free time. The way I work, I don't need to work 8 hours. I probably need to work 5 or 6 per day, being honest, because I have everything almost in automatic mode at this point. Of course, some days instead of working 5 hours, I need to work 24, but normally, yeah. So it's not like that I have a specific time to grind, I like to cook my own food, so I always take around 12 a.m. I always go to, no, 12 p.m. I'm sorry. I always go to make my food. Then I try to conciliate my daily work with my wife. My wife have a normal job, 9 to 6 p.m. And when she arrives at home, I normally also stop working. But again, I always have my phone with me, stuff like that. And at night, this is honestly quite bad. I'm going to be honest. At night, if we try to see a Netflix show or something like that, I'm always on the phone trying to. Honestly, this is not what I recommend. This is awful. But yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed. I cannot lie. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I completely understand. Like, yeah, we're like definitely gonna talk about like that one because my like kids, oh my God, you should hear how they treat me and act with me when I'm on my phone, and they'll kind of look, oh, daddy's on his cards again. And I'm like, man, I pay all the bills. Like, please, just let me. But yeah, man, beautiful answer because we're all addicted. It's not.
To be fair, my work is a little bit more complex than what I explained. But
yeah,
to give a general idea that's how things work at my house. Okay,
but it's something that you know I felt that I just wanted to see is basically like we are on call for the hobby in our PC. If we get a message, like if Nils sends me a DM, Nils is sending me DMs, you know, yeah, man, shout out to Nils, man. I mean, he is, wow, amazing. Nils will send me something early morning and I'll be on it. I'll be like, oh man, I didn't even know, boom. So it's like, you're always ready to go for the hobby. You're always ready to, something comes up, you know, Dino, 2001 foot, boom. I'm on a, you know, I'm in the car. I'm like, wait, whoa, what? Oh, hell no. Like I'm immediately zero in. So yeah, it's like we, you know, live our lives, we do our thing, but we also are blessed that we could, like I said, we're kind of like doctors on call, just walking around in the hospital with the beeper. We get that beep, we're ready there, right? So beautiful answer.
No, yeah. And like I said, I have an addicted personality, to be fair. And I mean, I'm always trying to think about value, and I always think, yeah, I'm watching this Netflix show. This is I always, for me, it's difficult to justify losing time in some stuff. But like I said, I have, I would say, a good amount of free time. I also, not that relevant to tell on this podcast, but I have no problem to also share with my viewers. At one point, I also did, because I also have not a degree, is a course is the correct word, I'm not sure, on programmation for a specific industry of plastics. So I still have some connections on that world, that I have some partnerships. Basically, I work alone, but I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. So I think it's my time, right? Question number 5, and I always ask this question to all my viewers, because I think it's fair to always give some space at the end, that your hot take or unpopular opinion on the hobby that you think, you know what, I think this, but most people probably disagree with me. And this is your time to share your
hot take.
Could be a player that you think is overrated, could be, I don't know, that PSA or BGS are overrated. It's up to you, of course.
All right. Hot take. Okay. My hot take is that prices are going to continue to go down for pre-modern at crazy amounts. I'm saying, like, for like right now, right? We're like seeing crazy stuff that I feel is valuable, right? Like obviously going long term. But we're seeing things that are just dropping by every 2 weeks, certain stickers that, you know, are just dropping. And I feel there aren't as many eyes pre-modern as people think there are at the moment.
Okay.
That makes sense?
No, of course.
I don't feel that there's the amount of sharks in the water that people think there are for 1980 to 2013, which to me is pre-modern, right? In that little era right there. From 1980 to 2013, there's not as many eyes. And it's crazy because there's certain things that are just flying. I mean,
no, but save that because we go into that later.
All right. Yeah, sorry.
Shoot your last question, basically.
So my last question kind of has to do with what I was talking about just now. And I use on this one, I actually wrote quotations, like the little quotes, right? And in a second, I have to grab a beer. And I know you got a disclaimer, right? You have to tell people.
Yeah.
Amazing YouTube page, which I feel needs to be applauded ridiculously. Wow. Yeah. So I'm actually going to talk about that like later. So in regards to the hobby, which I'm now calling it a business, it's looking more like a business. Where do you see it overall in 1 year, 4 years, and 10 years? So that's a 3-part answer. You're scratching your head, so that's actually a good question.
The soccer card market in particular,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Well, actually, our thing from 1980 to 2013. Where you see it in a year, in 4 years, which would be, I should have said 4.5. No. 4 years is the next World Cup because of the whole startup, right? So, yeah, in 1 year, in 4 years, and in 10 years, where do you see our thing at?
Okay.
Great questions, by the way. I should work at Fox or CNBC or something.
Okay, Andrés, just one thing. I actually end up listing the question perfectly, but you are cutting a little bit right now. I believe your internet is having some problems.
Oh, that's not good. It's still right now cutting?
Now it's fine, but was cutting a little bit when you end up asking the question. But
start the question?
No, I got the question. I'm just telling you that you end up freezing a little bit, but I still got the question. So in 1 year, and let me say one thing, this is crazy land. Of course, predicting this type of stuff is just bananas. In 1 year, I think there is a scenario that in 1 year we are probably still down because look, the world is in a weird place right now, and I don't think things will get better that fast. In the other end, the sentiment on the market changes quick. There is a scenario that we are at the bottom of the market. I'm not talking about soccer cards. I'm talking about markets in general, crypto, stocks, etc. There is a scenario on that, and we don't know until we know. But if I had to predict, look, there is a war in Europe that in Portugal, for example, things are crazy expensive because of inflation. I'm pretty sure in America, and you have a restaurant, you are seeing probably similar things. Everything is getting more expensive and more expensive. And at the end of the day, people don't eat cards. That's the sad story. So things can get a little bit more, even more complicated going forward. In the other end, I'm happy that the World Cup is not right now, because if the World Cup was right now, this was not a good time. So there is a scenario that in November things are a little bit better, and I want to believe in that, even though I'm aware that there is also the other scenario. But in 1 year from now, if I had to guess, we are probably in a similar place or down. But I'm not playing the game in 1 year. I'm trying to say I'm playing this for the next 10, 20 years. People think, 20 years, that's crazy. Yeah, but that's how I honestly like to look at this type of things. In 4 years, again, difficult to predict, but in 4 years, I would be shocked if we are not at least double. double in a macro perspective, because into years, not into, I'm sorry, in 4 years, I'm sorry, that will be the World Cup in America. And I think, I know a lot of people always speculate about World Cup in America, etc. But that's a huge deal. I mean, I know we talk a lot, meme a lot about this stuff, but it's a huge deal, a World Cup. I believe it's America and Canada, right? I believe
and Mexico.
And Mexico. So
yeah, man, the Mexicans got in there too. So
I mean, 3 amazing countries to be involved with the hobby. So I think that we can potentially see some type of mania, some type of spike around that time. And I think you need to start building your position right now. Yeah. Yesterday.
Last week.
you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So you need to build your position right now. Yesterday, again, the best day was yesterday, but the second best is today. So, but again, just put money that you feel comfortable, that you don't need in your personal life. I keep saying this, but I truly mean this type of stuff. I mean, if you are putting money that if you need to your personal life, that's awful. Don't do it. Cars are a super speculative asset, of course.
No financial advice.
No financial advice, of course. Yeah. but yeah, I suspect in 4 years the market will be at least double. But I even have higher expectations, if I'm going to be honest. In 10 years, man, I feel like soccer has such a potential that even if I try to predict an amazing scenario right now, I feel like I will be short. In the sense that, look, I know people think that Americans run the market and will be that forever. Look, there is that scenario, and Americans are very important. But I always love to share what I'm seeing in Europe, what I'm seeing in particular in Portugal. 2 years ago, all of my friends completely unaware of what was going on with Cristiano Ronaldo cards, Cristiano Ronaldo stickers. They are aware. And
they know.
And if they are aware, they are one step from becoming a collector, from start collecting certain players they like. And same happens in Spain. Things take time, of course. I mean, the culture is completely different in Europe, but I'm still very bullish about Europe. I'm very bullish about Asia. I think China and Japan, they are already doing big moves. I mean, I tend to buy
on the Philippines. Those guys over there. I feel a lot of key cards are going to go through there.
No, especially high-end Asia.
High-end autos, on-card stuff.
Shiny stuff. Oh, yeah, shiny stuff. They love that. I mean,
and that's why I think England is so important. And we're actually going to talk about that later, because those collectors are, ooh.
And no, England is a big part of the market right now. Look, I repeat myself a little bit on this, but when I started my YouTube channel, I automatically got a good amount of views, to be honest, but most of them, because I can see that on my YouTube stats, all from America. All of my viewers from America. Right now, but this is honestly crazy. I remember at one point was like 80% from America. Right now is 40%. The other 60%, this is real. The other 60% are from the United Kingdom, Canada, China, not China, actually, no, but Japan, Hong Kong.
That's great news to me, man. Wow.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like I'm seeing, people can say, oh, that's anecdotal data. You probably have, since you are a European content creator, you probably have friends on Europe, etc. And could be that also. Don't get me wrong.
That's facts.
But I'm seeing more and more collectors outside of America interacting on my YouTube channel right now. And I can share if people want on my Instagram. Less than 50% of my viewers are from America. And that was not the case, I believe, 1 year ago when I started. And again, my channel is growing, of course, but I'm having a lot of different... Look, I have people from Denmark. I have people from Sweden, from Portugal. I have a lot of guys from Portugal.
Just wait till Colombia, Argentina, right? Like Brazil, like Australia. Wait till those start getting in there, and at that point, I feel within 2.5 years, I think it's gonna be in action, right, is going to be in action.
That's why I'm saying, even if I'm trying to predict an amazing scenario 10 years from now, I feel like I can be a little bit short. I feel like I honestly, again, no financial advice. Always do your own research. If you disagree with me, totally fine. I'm a big believer on the market. I say it all the time. I believe a lot in vintage. I believe a lot in pre-modern. In ultra-modern, I don't play a lot. But even ultra-modern, if the market grows, everything will grow. And I'm a big believer. And I will not say and again why I believe in this. I have, I don't know, 100 videos explaining that on my YouTube channel. You guys can check that out. But I'm a big believer on the market. And even if I try to predict an amazing scenario, I feel like I will be short. 1 year, different story. 1 year, I actually can see we being a little bit down. But again, Andres, you, similar to me, not playing the short term. So if 1 year from now, a car that I paid 1K is $500, well, that will not be great, but I will still probably hold the card. Or if I don't hold the card, I consolidate into another card. It's not like that I take money off the hobby. So,
yeah, no, exactly.
hey guys, quick pause on the video. Hope you guys are enjoying this talk with Andres. For me, it was a very fun one. Amazing talk. Andres is such a great person, amazing collector also. And yeah, if you are enjoying this conversation, leaving the like is the first thing you should do. Another thing that I want to share with you is actually my Patreon. It tends to be the best way to support my content. I put a video every Wednesday and the extra audio on Saturday. So you guys pay around $10, but I try to provide enough value there. And anyone joining the Patreon will be able to ask me questions. I end up answering more than 300 questions already, which I think is a crazy number to even think about. So if you love my content on YouTube, very likely scenario, you also love my content on Patreon. So I will leave the link below the video. Check my Patreon, like I was saying, a lot of content there that you are missing. One thing that is totally free, because like I was saying, Patreon is $10, is actually my Discord. We are more than 500 members at this point. I think it's an amazing place to learn about the soccer card market, to share your experience, and there is a lot of collectors there. I'm also there a lot of times, so if you want to interact with me, check my Discord. I will leave the link below the video. Let's continue with the conversation. Now we go back to the questions. To be fair, we spent a lot of time on them already, but
it's good now.
But I think this one is the one you probably want to talk the most. Is your top 3 favorite Ronaldo stickers in your collection, and actually, instead of that, because in the end you already end up answering the question, is why you end up going so heavy on Ronaldo. To be fair with you, I put Ronaldo in top 10, and I even think there is argument to be made that Ronaldo could be top 5 player of all time. I don't think he's crazy. I think the 4 players are, most people would agree, Maradona, Pelé, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi. But I think then it's probably between Cruyff, Zidane, Ronaldo, Beckenbauer. But if you put Ronaldo, there is a solid, you can make a solid argument for Ronaldo.
Exactly. And so yeah, no, I mean, Andre, we saw him, right? It's hard to explain to folks or to even show them in clips because the camera quality is so bad, right? Like, yeah. and it's just hard to explain to folks how he was so, I mean, he was so fluid with so much strength and speed that you usually don't get both of those on a platter, like equally, right?
Yes.
He had acceleration. He was precise with, his angles as far as how to hit the ball where it's either mid-level, it's going to drop right in front of the goalie, it's going to drop at the line, it's going to bounce twice. Like his know-how and his angles, and then his turns, his acceleration. And I'm not trying to knock none of these players today. I still haven't seen physically somebody impress me on that level in football. Still. Now I'm 40 years old. That's old. I'm bald, right? But his precision, his speed, his elegance in how he controlled the ball, like he looks like the type of player that would be clumsy. You know what I'm saying? Because his body is built, his strong legs, right? But he was like Mozart. He was like Beethoven, right? Like Picasso, Van Gogh, like, you know, Leonardo da Vinci. Like, now this is my opinion, right? But I just
Andrés,
incredible,
let, let,
incredible.
let me say one thing about Ronaldo. I remember Ronaldo, I would say fairly well. I mean, his first year is not perfect, but I end up watching still a lot of Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, I put things this way. I don't judge Maradona and Pelé because I never saw them. I believe they are great, and I have no reason to go against what other people think. And I also think they are great in the end because I also watch YouTube videos, stories, etc. For sure, probably Pelé could be the GOAT, and some people say Pelé is the GOAT, and Maradona was the most talented player ever. That's up to debate, but I put those two aside. From what I saw, from what I saw, and I like to say this, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, they are
Goats,
in a different level.
goats.
But if there is one guy that I thought, you know what, this guy had a chance to compete with those two, is Ronaldo. But a lot of injuries. But Ronaldo was a force of nature. For me, is the best definition.
That's the best right there. Force of
Nature, because he was unstoppable. Look, a player that actually I love his style is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic tells all the time, Ronaldo was my idol, because Ronaldo, everything he did was wow. You know, was incredible. Another great player, Van Nistelrooy, amazing striker, amazing years at United. Actually, a player that people don't talk, but was amazing in his time. And he went to Real Madrid, and Ronaldo was there already, but already with a lot of injuries. And he said, I was like, okay, Ronaldo is good, but this is my time. And there is a story on YouTube that they end up playing in training, a fun game, 5v5, and he was like, oh my God, what is this? And the interviewer said, but Ronaldo was already a little bit fat at the time. And he said, yeah, that's the problem. Imagine if I was competing with Ronaldo when he was at peak form. It's just insane. Buffon says the same thing. And I put Buffon as the best goalkeeper ever. And Buffon says, look, a lot of people talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, etc., being the best players ever. They need to put Ronaldo, because Ronaldo had a short period of time playing at elite, of course, but was so impressive that I'm not trying to pump Ronaldo cards, to be fair. He's a player that I also love to collect, but Ronaldo was the man. There is no doubt.
You know, from 1993 to 1999, it's crazy to just think about this. We didn't see his prime.
Yeah.
He lost close to 2.5 to 3.5 years, not, in his prime, Andre. And with what I've always said, in my opinion, he's the most talented football player, like natural ability, of all time. You could argue, from a talent point, that with Diego, with Pele, with Messi, with CR7, you could argue with R9. You could argue with Cruyff, R9 was better. There's no one else you could do that with. You can't do that with anybody. The only other player that I feel is still underrated in a weird way is Ronaldinho, because his prime was magic too.
But I would say one thing about Ronaldinho, and my viewers know, he's my favorite player. But I honestly believe Ronaldo was better than Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho was more, how can I say this? Was more a movement at that time. Was more Yes, and the energy, the way he ended up approaching
swag,
football, this swag.
everything.
It was a player that if you are playing with your friends, you want to be Ronaldinho, basically, because Ronaldinho was that type of a player. But looking back, and Ronaldinho will always be my favorite player because, again, without Ronaldinho, this podcast is not happening. So, of course, Ronaldinho, I have in great consideration. But Ronaldo, I feel like Ronaldinho could have done much better, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I doubt Ronaldinho ended up being competing with Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldinho probably could go more to the level of Zidane, in my perspective. That I think, okay, maybe not the best, but probably top 6, top 7, around that. And some people already put Ronaldinho on that top. But Ronaldo, for me, is not that way. Ronaldo could be the number one. That's for me the big difference. Ronaldo at one point in time, we thought this guy will break everything basically, and yeah, a lot of injuries, but his career was still amazing. So
yeah, amazing. And to go to Italy, he went 97, 98, 98, 99, right? That league was like cutthroat. Those Italians was great defenders. Like that defense from that era, Italy was number one. And for him to go
Cannavaro,
to that
Nesta,
league, right? For him
Maldini.
to go to that league and still be able to dominate, because there's always a difference. Like, it's almost as if he had, it's like LeBron with Jordan's athletic ability. As crazy as that sounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Ronaldo was. It was Jordan's athletic ability and LeBron's body.
Andrés,
So think about how amazing in scope that is, of how ahead of.
I would say one thing, Andrés. I think at his age, I never saw something similar. Never.
Yeah.
Because his numbers are completely insane if you look what he ended up doing at Barcelona, at PSV, etc. But I feel bad that I never saw his prime, and I saw the prime for Lionel Messi, and I still think Lionel Messi prime is the best prime I saw,
because it was so consistent for such a long time,
and special because his career ended up playing the way that should play, if that makes sense. And the other one was cut a little bit short.
Yeah.
Again, it is what it is. In the other end, we all love Ronaldo. So Ronaldo, saying that Ronaldo ended up not, I mean, how many collectors there is for Ronaldo? So many. So people know that's a beautiful rookie for Ronaldo.
This one felt so good to get. I felt there's a 12 nines, so it's not definitely.
But
there's right now, I want to say.
But the Bob report for that is actually quite
61.
low.
Yeah, this one is 61. The headshot is 156. You see, I got my little cheat notes here, man. I came prepared. No, it's just a beautiful image. I've always felt that it maybe didn't get that popular because the second year has two with the same style. And I've always thought that maybe that people that kind of come in don't really know that. So they maybe just think that this is maybe a second year. Maybe they don't put a lot of, like love on it. But I love this one.
Yeah, I also love that.
Story about this one. So this one I saw on Pierre's page. And when I saw it, I was like, I need to have that card. So I reached out to him. I'm like, yo, like, where did you get it? And he's like, man, that's a hard one to get. So he kind of told me the whole story about it. And I'm looking for it, can't find it. So this is where it just goes to show that in this hobby, you got to keep trying. You always got to think of different ways to look for stuff, right? So I kept trying to find it. And finally I said, you know what? I'm gonna try this. And I'm going to give a little tip right here. I typed in the album name without Ronaldo, without the date, without nothing. Just the actual album name, the way it was written on the pack in Italy. Right? André. wow, goosebumps, right? I look, I'm like, full album, like $60. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, this is mine. Whoop.
No, I also do that for a lot of
Right.
sets.
And,
Yeah,
and I started to just find, I ended up getting 5 albums in like 2 weeks.
Because
Since then, none have come up.
because European collectors, they sometimes they don't realize they have that card. They
certain cards in them, exactly, because
they collect the set.
So I got 5 of them. I sent in 4 of them because I have one that's really bad, and 2 of them got 9s. One got an 8 and one got a 7, and I freaked out. I was thinking they were going to be 6s. But so this one means a lot because it's Brazil colors.
That's
It's
a
Italy
beautiful card.
only, which makes it rare. And the white Milan kit steals the show. I mean, that alone, he's not injured at this point. So this is like about to enter his prime. This one's
I
beautiful.
actually said that card was easy, but I was thinking about other card, honestly. Now that you are, yeah, that card is not easy.
Only, right? It's a nice one, right? And then this one, I mean, we both said this one's beautiful, man.
No, the ediciones este sometimes is crazy difficult to find. I mean, and I don't know why, to be fair. That one is a good example. But even I was looking at Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, that's also a beautiful card. There is also a Zinedine Zidane, not as important as those one, but it's the first year at Real Madrid for Zidane. And I also collect
the one that's the internet one.
Yeah, I love that card.
I have that one.
But it's honestly quite difficult to find. If you find, it's very cheap. Most people are not looking at that card. But I always, and finding that card centering is a nightmare.
So with that card, I got it back in the summertime of last year.
I love that card.
I love that design because it's kind of like a 2000-ish design with the computer.
Is Internet Explorer, I believe, on the background.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Actually, I think he's a player that you not collect, but most of my viewers may like that. Xabi Alonso, rookie, also a very important player, is also on that set. So if you guys have a Xabi Alonso Este with the Internet Explorer, that's actually a rookie for Xabi Alonso. But I love that card, the Internet Explorer one.
I love it too, man.
So now we go to my question. What was the first question? I already forgot.
First question was, can I go grab a beer? It'll take me 1 minute.
Of course. No, and I edit this. No, don't worry.
You probably don't have to edit it.
Okay, and then I don't edit.
All right, here we go. Andre, we have to talk like this like once a month, man. I'm slowly getting better at the market. I'm slowly learning, starting to look at pop reports now differently. So I'm slowly getting better now at the next phase, right? Here we go. Ready?
Of course.
You know that the beer is good when it has a cork.
that looks like wine.
So this is from Belgium. It's got some monks that make this beer up in the mountains. Shout out to the Belgian monks. Shout out to Belgium, by the way, man. I love KDB.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, great.
I love Kevin De Bruyne because he's like a number 10. You know what I mean? Like he's a futuristic number 10.
I'm not investing in him heavily for one reason. I feel like he needs to win one Champions League, to put him on the spot that I really want to invest in. Of course, he's great, and I think if people collect Kevin De Bruyne, he's an amazing player. But I still need something a little bit more from him. But yeah, shoot the first question.
Here we go. So, disclaimer. Okay. I'm about to put on the shades. Now it's about to get really good. So the first question was, in your opinion, the best players to never win a World Cup, a Champions League, and a Ballon d'Or?
Okay, so like I said, and I guess in this case I will explain. I think the let's start with Champions League. I think Buffon and Ronaldo. Look, Ronaldo, I don't need to explain why, because Ronaldo, like I said, if I put Ronaldo already close to top five, imagine if Ronaldo had won one or two Champions League. That for me, maybe there will not even be a debate if Ronaldo was top five or not. End up playing in an amazing Real Madrid, but end up not winning. It is what it is, basically. I believe if that Barcelona, if he stayed at Barcelona a little bit longer, he had a solid chance to win Champions League. The other one is Buffon, because Buffon is crazy. Buffon played a couple of finals, ended up losing finals. And I'm not sure if you agree with me, but when I think about the best goalkeeper ever, I think about Buffon, I think about Manuel Neuer. But I think, and I did a poll on my Discord, actually, most people end up voting for Buffon. And I think it's fair to say Buffon as the GOAT. And it's crazy that, and you probably share this with me, Buffon should be a player that we collect more. I mean, we are talking about the best player in his position.
In 2006, right? That was such a defensive World Cup. The way that Italy dominated teams that were that you know what I mean, like that were known to score, and you literally had to get through Paolo Maldini and Fabio Cannavaro.
I actually
had to deal with Nesta. Sorry,
yeah, because I believe Maldini did not.
Sorry,
Nesta. I actually believe
had to deal with that.
Materazzi,
like.
No, Buffon was the man. Is still the man. To be fair, Buffon is a living legend. Since I'm a kid, I remember listening about Buffon. So think about this. I mean, actually was looking at that. He started playing his career when I ended up entering school, and Buffon is still playing until this. Again, actually, Buffon is a player that. Buffon and Neuer, because I also like Neuer. Those guys, even if you love the ultra modern stuff, the top scrum goal, the more shiny stuff, you can find for those two guys very cheap. And sometimes I think, you know what, this is actually a potentially fun collection to have. Buffon Prism Gold, Top Scrum Gold.
2017 Top Scrum, yeah.
Just putting some ideas out there. Don't start chasing that right now.
He's definitely on my list. Like, I want his rookie in a PSA 9.
I have something for you.
Okay.
Andrés, I have something for you. This is the first time I will share this. Buffon rookie, Panini Calciatore 95. If you look in terms of rarity, is not super rare. But like you said, if you are trying to go for a top grade, PSA 9, PSA 10, those are difficult to find. But I have something better for you.
Japanese version?
No. Yeah, the Japanese version. Try to find that. That for all of my viewers, Buffon have the normal Italy sticker, the Panini Calciatore 95, and there is actually a Japanese version for Panini Calciatore. And I'm discovering this not that long time ago, to be honest, but in my experience, that one is quite difficult to find. I'm not saying it's true rarity, but if you guys want something that is probably a little bit more special, probably a little bit more difficult to find, I think Panini Calciatore Japanese version is an interesting move. And if you guys are collecting Panini Calciatore 95, Alessandro Nesta, that's
the Asprilla, the Japanese version. So this is how the back's going to look.
Exactly. But is the only one you want from Panini Calciatore Japanese?
That's basically, I feel that is going to be like the Henri Russian version.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's going to have a premium on it because it has a little bit better, it's rare compared to the regular release, because there's tons of those. I mean, those, I feel, if it's not in a 9 or a 10,
but Andrés, if
it's going to slowly trickle down.
Sometimes if you find the entire set, the other great rookie on the set is Alessandro Nesta. Nesta also have the rookie on Panini Calciatore 95. So if you find the set, you get the best defender ever, the best goalkeeper ever, and one of the best defenders ever on Alessandro Nesta. Just something to...
And that's Frida, man.
So
I love that I had that right there.
About the other part, the players that never won Ballon d'Or, I think Thierry Henry does not need a lot of explanation. I mean, Thierry Henry, probably the best Premier League player ever. So it's crazy to think that the best Premier League player ever never end up winning Ballon d'Or, also end up winning Euro Cup with France, end up winning World Cup with France. People may not know, but he's still the top goal scorer for France until this day. I mean, we are talking about a legendary player. For me, it's crazy to think that Thierry Henry does not have a Ballon d'Or. I honestly think it's crazy. I don't get how Nedved, Shevchenko, all great players. I mean, but Thierry Henry is different level.
You know, there's times where I feel people took their greatness for granted, and maybe they allowed a certain season to kind of get more weight than how great certain players were. Another clear, one was the one with Sammer and R9. He lost by one vote. Like R9. So as an R9 fan, I'm like, oh, no, but he had a great year that year. Sammer had an amazing year. He won Champions League. He won Euro Cup. Like, how can you argue with that? You know what I mean? Like, wow. Obviously, me as an R9 fan, it's like R9 should win everything. But it's like they always, at times, give it to a certain season if it was, quote unquote, magical. Right?
Yeah, but think about this, Andrés. Okay, great season. But anyone thought that he was the best player. Everyone knew it was Ronaldo. I mean, and for me, I don't care if people disagree with this, to be honest. If you know that guy is the best player in the world, I have no problem if you give that guy the best player in the world. Another good example, but in this case, he ended up winning Ballon d'Or. Cannavaro 2006 was great, but Zidane was the man. Not Cannavaro. I'm sorry. I mean, I think it's interesting that Cannavaro ended up winning one Ballon d'Or. Let's be real. If
how they weight certain things at certain times, and then it's the whole media bias, and the media just controls the vote, and then it's a whole nother thing.
Because if you go by that logic, for example, when Frank Ribéry had a crazy season, Ribéry should have won, but they give to Cristiano Ronaldo. Iniesta had a crazy season, they give to Messi. So Ballon d'Or is a little bit over the place. I think it's an important trophy, but sometimes they go a little bit crazy to be fair. The other one that ended up choosing that should have won Ballon d'Or, or at least is one of the best players that never won Ballon d'Or, is Iniesta. But I would say one thing. I think Henry is crazy that Henry never won one, because I think Henry really should have won one. Iniesta gets a little bit more debatable, because I also think this. Iniesta was great, but honestly, trying to be honest with myself, did I believe Iniesta was better than Messi? No. So I'm also not mad that they gave to Messi instead of Iniesta. But I think it will be also very fair if they gave to Iniesta or Xavi. So on that one, I have mixed feelings. And by the way, I'm saying those players, but Pelé never won Ballon d'Or. But again, we know that's a different conversation. Of course, if you go that route, Pelé, Maradona, of course, will be the ones that we need to choose. Another good one could be actually Lewandowski, because Lewandowski not winning Ballon d'Or, especially around the
COVID, though, that was all COVID, man.
But that was unfair. I mean, he was the best. Give the man a Ballon d'Or. So
he dominated. I mean, he's. I can't wait to see him, because I think he's someone that physically stays in shape. He's really, he trains hard. If he gets to Xavi and he's got these youngsters feeding him the ball, I mean, even if it's a 2.5, 3.5 year window, he could easily put up 20 to 25 goals like nothing if he's got the team that could provide him. You know what I mean? Because he is a machine. Exactly. He is a machine. He gets it. He knows how to score from the angles, whether it's on the run, whether it's, a turn, like he is amazing, man. That dude is ridiculous.
No, ridiculous. I mean, big fan of him.
Yeah.
So the next question was about the national.
All right.
I guess this one you end up already talking a good amount about, but share some final thoughts on your
All right. So
what you are expecting.
I'm expecting the unexpected. I'm I'm really expecting I'm expecting a suntan. I'm definitely going to be on the beach early morning, getting some, good sun. I really want to see PSA. I feel I want to see their booth. I want to see their staff. I want to see how they present themselves. I want to see their flow as like, because they're someone that I feel have a lot to do with my investment going forward. And
Mm-hmm.
and that probably sounds crazy, but
No, I mean,
I honestly feel like right now that I'm about to turn my PC into a business, right? I want to see their structure. I want to see their chemistry. I want to see how the workers interact with each other. Like, stuff that you really want to see it up close in a stressed environment, because that tells a lot about them from head to toe, from their managing, from their staff. I want to see what they speak about, if they're going to have any type of a forum for questions. I got questions on Newton rings. I got questions on just so many things, right? I'm not a PSA hater. I'm actually somebody that cheers them on. I know a couple of their staff. I think they're amazing people, amazing collectors, by the way. Let me just, I really don't want to say names, but it's two
no,
guys
but you can say no problem.
yeah, no, it's Matt and Mitch. They're both collectors at heart. And I feel that that's what PSA needs in their DNA, is people that understand our thing. Now, that's me being selfish, right? But I am ecstatic that Mitch and Matt work at PSA. I'm somebody that loves it. I feel that they know our culture. They know what's going on with it. They know where it's going, and they're perfect to be there for us, right? And but I'm excited about that. I'm excited about SGC because I feel SGC for vintage. I think obviously you if you want to protect investment always, no matter rain, sleet, snow, all that, you're gonna go PSA. But I think SGC for a lot of these rare pieces, I think SGC is still gonna be there. Like it's still key because a lot of their slabs have key old stickers, So I'm really, really like want to see them in action as well. And like I said, this is me trying to act like I'm not looking at them, but I'm gonna be looking at them, taking notes. You know what I mean? Just because I'm curious about that from the word is infrastructure point of view, how they operate. That goes, it tells a lot. I want to see the children as far as how are they moving.
Yeah.
What are the kids interested in? Are they going after Pokemon? Are they going after the shiny stuff? Are they going after the
Probably
autograph
Pokemon.
Pokemon, right? Those little bastards. I also want to see, I'm really curious in meeting people from England, people from Europe, if they travel to there. Like, I really want to see their whole, like point of view on everything. I'm curious to see actual trades happen in front of me and sales in front of me. That's something that I'm going to be soaking up, Andre. I'm curious to see who gets scammed, who does this, who knows how to sell, who knows, and I'm trying to pick parts from all of this so I could adapt it to my game, right? Because eventually I need to upgrade. So eventually I need to sell. Eventually I need to trade. And so I'm really curious as to seeing how people deal with that aspect, because you can watch it on YouTube, but I feel on YouTube, a lot of the times it looks like it's somewhat, set up, or maybe they did it after the fact. So I'm curious about that as well, right? I'm not really looking like I'm not thinking that I'm gonna find super rare stuff that I want. I'm thinking that for that, no. But I do want to take a lot of the stuff that I have to sell, which is pre-modern. I feel like I'm an expert in the Chavi market, in certain markets now.
Yeah.
that I could take that and on like a trade night, a lot of people could leave happy with rookies that I have. You know what I mean? But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
No, for sure.
I just wanted to say, Andre, I just won a auction. So I'm the first person on your podcast to win an auction while he's getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? Cheers.
Okay. Can you share? Can you share the auction?
Oh yeah. So it's a 1997 Super Cracks Rincon. Freddie Rincon. Rest in peace. Just recently passed away.
I know.
So I'm actually looking for the R9 that says Ronaldinho instead of Ronaldo. That's
a Brazilian release.
Yeah.
Super
so
Cracks.
I'm looking for like R9 and like a high grade in that set. But I just won that auction. Cheers to Daddy Pop winning another auction.
Congrats.
That happens a lot.
Congrats. So what was the second question that you have for me?
I had for you was your method to hunting. And then I had a group of players. I had Messi CR7, Zidane R9, and then Portugal.
No, but
as far as like, do you sit there, look at pop reports, see what's rare, what's low, how, you know, what are the last sales of these stickers? Which one are you going to go after right now? Which one do you put above certain ones? Like your whole process as to how you attack the players that are, you know, quote unquote GOATs, and how you fit them into your, you know what I'm saying, like PC. Like how do you approach the kill? How do you approach the kill, the hunt?
Okay, so again, I already answered that question the best I could, to be fair, but trying to look this in a different way. And I'm doing a lot of consolidation in my collections right now. I mean, I'm selling a lot of stuff, but I'm also buying a lot of stuff. And I think in the end, that's important to always keep the machine going, you know. And right now, what I'm trying to do, for example, is I have a big position on the Messi market. I'm talking about rookies in general. And I'm trying to move certain rookies that, even though I believe in them long run, that I can move into a better grade, a rookie that I believe even a little bit more for Messi. And I guess I can share an example that not the first time I'm sharing this example, so I feel comfortable. For example, the rookie I believe have the biggest space to grow is Messi Este. Why? Because in terms of pop report, is the most difficult one to find. A PSA 5, to give you an idea, for Messi Este sells for $500. And $500 is nothing for that card. Why? Because if you compare with the PSA 9 Mundicromo, that sells for $2K. And now the crazy part is this. There is less than 200 copies for the Messi Este total. PSA 9 alone for the Mundichrome is more than 200 copies. So imagine that, is for me the best rookie for Lionel Messi right now. And again, 1 year from now, if people are seeing this video, maybe the answer will be different, because if the market adjusts on the Messi market, on the Este sticker, I'm sorry, maybe my opinion will be different. Right now, that's the sticker I like the most for, not the sticker, the rookie I like the most for Lionel Messi. And I will make an update video about the Messi market. I have a lot of things to say about that card in particular, but yeah, I really think is the best Messi rookie that you can afford if you compare with other Messi. So, the other question I had for you was this one, I guess, it was buy one, sell one, old one. You said,
I'm ready for this one.
You said buy Valderrama, old Ronaldo, and sell Ronaldinho.
All right.
Ronaldinho, you actually explain the reason, but why are you buying Valderrama? Which, by the way, is one of your favorite players. And
he's my favorite player to collect.
Yeah.
R9 is my favorite player in general. So that's like a thin line right there. So they're basically both my favorites, right? Why buy Valderrama? So he is a player that I feel by the World Cup, you know, when it hits America, he's somebody that's going to be on all the Spanish news channels, the sports channels. He's on them now, right? He's on them now. So let's first talk about his iconic stature as far as his hair. He's outspoken. He recently got into a lot of little drama with the current team because he was mad at their effort and he questioned their effort.
Andrés, show one card of Valderrama for my viewers, because some people may not know, and you probably have a couple with you.
So. Oh man! So I'm going to show. So it's funny. Buy the sticker, not the grade. I have this sticker in a lot of high grades, but my favorite one is the lowest grade I have.
Oh, that's a beautiful sticker.
This is 1988 Panini Foot 89.
Oh, great sticker lineage.
11. It has the golden border. You see his hair. It looks like religious in a way with the sun shining through it. This is his first European sticker. His first major, you know what I mean? Like his first major sticker. I feel that, you know, he's iconic in multiple facets. That apart from the hair, because that's beautiful to see, like someone with a crazy hair, right? He's somebody that he brought that Barcelona style, although a lot less power.
Yeah.
But we had a team that in that we would pass the ball and touch it. For us, it was called La Tocata. And it basically means we pass the ball. You give it to me, I give it back. You give it to me, you move, I give it back. And that was our style, was doing that. And then when we could get that opening, he would make the laser sharp pass to Asprilla or Rincon. He would get that pass to them with that ability of placing it perfectly. So all they got to do is keep stride. They don't have to move. They don't have to stop their flow, their force. The pass would be laid in like a basket. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
For the country, let's speak on that aspect of it. He's somebody that gave Colombians a positive light when we were very, you know, we were seen as a negative people due to the cocaine, the mid-'80s, Pablo Escobar. We had this kind of this image that was horrible. And he was that guy that gave us this image on like a world stage of this dude comes, he plays soccer, his hair is crazy, but he's good, he's decent.
I mean, it's fair to say it's kind of like your Ronaldinho, you know.
Yeah, no,
yours Ronaldinho.
If you talk to any guy that's over 45, that's Colombian, they'll tell you he's their favorite. He's the athlete that they admire. My uncles, my dad, I mean, this is their Jordan. This is their Messi. This is their guy. Yeah. The only other guy that they respected and loved, well, sorry, I don't want to say respected. They respected his talent but hated him, was Maradona. So any Hispanic in the 80s, Maradona was like Jordan, where either he was loved or he was hated. People don't know that Jordan in the 90s, a lot of people dislike Jordan because he was so good. You know what I mean? That's something that as time goes on, it changes.
But Maradona is actually what you said. I believe Maradona, talking a little bit more about the vintage side, is the player that more people love, but he's also the player that more people don't like. So he's like a person that you hate or love.
He was, and I hate to say this, but he was, if Mozart was a drug addict. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
He's someone that is genius. I mean, Diego Maradona is a genius on the football field. I don't think anybody could say he's not. But you have to look at his life off the field is very questionable, right? Like, but Pibe, man, 1987 South American Player of the Year. That's big.
Yeah.
Like, and Pibe, he he's someone that I feel still hasn't got his little moment to shine. I know a sticker of his went for $590, a 7.5. I basically own like almost the whole pop report for this sticker.
That's correct. No, but again, I'm losing you, Andrés.
Was their first star in MLS.
I'm losing you.
Uh-oh.
Can you see your camera?
Good.
You are froze right now. I'm listening to you, but you are froze.
But I'm froze.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
I'm back.
But it's frozen. You need to check the internet right now because something is.
It's on, but it's not saying that it's weak or anything.
Okay. Is someone using your internet? I think I lost you again. Okay, I guess we'll wait a little bit. Good time to check the links below the video. Leave a like. This is I think a great conversation with Andrés. So yeah, if you are enjoying this one, don't forget to leave a like, guys. Also, I have a Discord that have close to 600 members. Don't forget also to join. It's totally free. And if you want to support the channel, there is also a Patreon. Then I will also leave a link below the video. I put a Q&A every week there. Let's see if Andrés... Oh, okay, this is not good. Again, spend time checking the links below the video, Discord and Patreon.
I'm back.
Now it's fine. I was doing my Patreon. I was promoting my Patreon, my Discord.
Check out Soccer Study Discord for great conversation. Check out the Patreon. I was the first member.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I was the first member. I was actually the first person that told you to you know what I'm saying, like set it up. Because I felt wrong. I felt like I was learning too much information, and I felt like I had to pay. I had to do something. So I told you. I think you set it up like a month, probably, like, you know what I'm saying, like after that. And I remember whenever you posted it, I was the first one to join, man. I think what you've done is just, I keep saying it, it's incredible, man. I would not be here talking to you if I didn't see your videos, man. Seriously.
No, and I'm not even trying to say people should subscribe to the Patreon. To be fair, that will be great.
They should.
But one thing that people don't know is I put a lot of time on that Patreon. I make a Q&A every week. I make an audio, which is more a state of the market on Saturday. I spend a lot of time on the Patreon community, but something that I believe is important to grow, because in the end I put a lot of time into this, so I think it makes sense to.
I felt it was smart for you to challenge people's thinking. I felt that you wanted to get people's brains working, and you're probably, you know, seeing everything going up, and you were probably like, I want people to do this right, to know the right, you know what I'm saying, like information to do this right. Because I think you knew Americans were going to come in. Americans just wanted slaughter. We just wanted blood. But you taught us what was what sets were what was rare, what's that, what's this, like, and it helped me tremendously. It helped a lot of people, I'm sure, man.
No, I mean, my goal on YouTube is honestly quite simple at this point. I really love pre-modern, and I want to make pre-modern grow. I mean, this will be a long journey, to be fair. I make the investing in greatness series for different players, and I make sometimes for vintage players. But in the other end, I think Al already does such a great job talking about those legendary players that I don't even need to do it. But for pre-modern, I mean, a legend, of course. So yeah, I think it does such a great job that I don't even need to do what he's doing, because I will not be able to do it that well. But in pre-modern, I think I can do a great job. So I try my best.
So we were talking about so buy Pibe. Everybody
Yeah.
buy Pibe.
And
That is
and you
financial advice.
and you no, don't say that, please.
Disclaimer: don't listen to anything I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just feel he's someone that hasn't had his shine yet, and he will get it. I feel going forward as people see
Is about
how
education.
yeah, once folks see how certain ones are very hard to grade just because, you know, those French foot stickers are so thin. Any type of dent, any type of indent, it's like a 5, a 4, a 3, is going to be really hard to like grade. But I think he's someone that as time goes on, his place will be known. Like he, you know, he was the first MLS star for America. Like a lot of people didn't know what soccer was until Pibe was out there, you know, playing, right? So as time goes on, I think he will have his shine, right? I said hold R9 because I think what me and you talked about earlier, the more conversations like that happen, the more people will realize that we aren't lying.
Yeah.
Right? As far as like how good he was, like it can't be a lie if me and Andre say the same things that Maldini, Pep, who played with him, that certain players, you know, speak about this man the same way that me and Andre spoke about him. Like
so many. I mean,
yeah, so many people have said the same things that like me
Andrés,
and you
think about this. Zidane says that Ronaldo was the best player he played with, and Zidane played with Henry, Patrick Vieira, so many legendary players, and it goes automatic. Yeah, for me.
So he's someone that I feel hold. I feel now no financial advice.
Of course.
If you feel that R9 is as good as me and Andre think he is, I definitely think he's a hold. I think you should see what stickers and cards are out there in abundance. Research, look at every sticker, get a pen, 1994, 1995, 1996. You know, World Cup stickers, World Cup star cards, and look at pop reports, see every single one, what's what, decide what you want to attack and jump in. Because I think he's the most underappreciated, underrated player right now. Celdino, the reason for that is because I think we're seeing now a lot of his stickers are popping up, but they're stuck. And we're starting to see that basically 6s and up is where it's at as far as like where it's going to really grow. I do, you know, I have 2 4s, which I love, by the way. I have a 4 that I will never, ever get rid of. It's so beautiful. To me, it's perfect. That's just my like perfect sticker, right? He's a player that I feel will get more shine sooner than R9, just because he was more recent. And I think as people that grew up in 2003, 2004, 2005, they start getting money, they start getting, deep, you know what I'm saying? Like into
so
this.
You think that demographics are better for Ronaldinho?
Yeah, because he had a more global touch. With R9, it's more of word of mouth.
So do you believe so do you believe demographics are better for Ronaldinho, but Ronaldo, even if was greater, needs more educated people on the market, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would agree with that.
Yeah, because Dino, I mean, yeah, if you see his pop reports, let me look at my cheat sheet that I prepared. So you know what I'm saying. So he's got a pop 63 of his rookie.
It's still very low.
Yeah, to me, that is ridiculous. I mean, that is wow. And then his foot sticker is a pop 11. That's the number. So this is strategy talk now. And I'm the beer's hitting me. The way I collect, there's certain stickers that I zero in on that I will always try to purchase. For example, and whoever is going to listen to this, if you want to battle Daddy Pop-Pop in the auction, it's not going to end good. Xavi Hernandez, 19A. That's one of them. Ronaldinho, 2001 foot, number 300. That is another one.
How many you have?
I have a few. R9
you should sell me one because I need that sticker.
Of the Dino?
Yeah, the 2001.
That one, I actually have. It's funny you asked that. I don't know if it's scary or not, but
and that sticker will go to a person that also. Oh man, you need to sell me one.
So I really believe in this sticker. Like I said,
a great sticker.
It's certain stickers that I feel that people, as of right now, don't appreciate them going forward. I think that Dino, we're in 2022, and there's only 11 copies out there. What that tells me is that it's out there. I'm not saying it's the most rare sticker, of course not.
Andrés, but
what I'm saying is it still has so much room to grow going forward.
Andrés, I honestly, this may be our take. I think that sticker is more difficult to find than the rookie.
Right? Because it's difficult to get. It's not.
I honestly think it's more difficult.
Raw dudes are, France, those guys pick up on it quick. They're selling it now for $2,000-$3,000 raw. So, I mean, that I feel is now out of the question. But I always feel like with my players, I kind of zero in on like a sticker for each player. For example, just look, I love it. Oh my God. But I think that as time goes on, 19A for Xavi is going to be a big sticker.
The Panini sticker?
Yes.
That sticker is really difficult.
The same level as that sticker, like right there, as far as like the, you know what I mean?
Same for Iniesta, the headshot, the Liga Panini Estrelas. The headshot is also super
419.
difficult.
Yeah, 419 winter update. That's also on the list. This one right here, right?
Oh, that sticker is crazy. It's crazy that you have three, man.
Yeah, this sticker
is honestly insane.
This sticker to me has been, I would have to say, the most difficult sticker to find in pre-modern in good condition. There's one that's online that's been online for like 2 years. The dude wants like 20 grand for it. But to find this sticker, I think going forward is going to be the rarest Xavi rookie.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
Yeah, by far.
Could be. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I would say buy Pibe, hold R9 for as long as you can, and sell Dino, because Dino right now, there was a sell in December for a PSA 4 that was $57.50 for a nicely centered copy. That's pretty good. $57.50. That's pretty good for a PSA 4.
Yeah. No, great answer again. So shoot me. What was the other question?
Your question was. Here we go. Your favorite game experience, and you talked about seeing CR7 in person for training.
Yeah, but again, there is not a lot that I can add to that apart from what's crazy to see Cristiano Ronaldo. I saw him leave. What's the word? Lefting the bus to go to the stadium. I was there. Then I went to the stadium, and Cristiano Ronaldo at the time was already one of the best players in the world. Of course, right now he's a legend, but I'm a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo since his times at Manchester United. So, and at that time, I believe he was already at Real Madrid. So Cristiano Ronaldo was already the man, basically, on the world of soccer, on the world of football. And yeah, for me, it was, again, it's nothing special, but for me it was special because I saw one of the players.
Special.
And Benfica is Benfica. Benfica is my team. I watch all the games. I don't know. I could the games that are a little bit more that the emotions are strong is versus Porto. Is basically the biggest rival for Benfica. It's super tough games. Both teams, they hate each other. It's similar to Real Madrid, Barcelona for people that may not be aware of Benfica and Porto. But yeah. I guess you can skip that one. What was the other one?
The other one was the daily routine.
Oh, but skip also that because I have nothing to add.
Daily routine. The other one, the last one was the hobby in 1 year, 4 years, and 10 years.
Okay, that's a question that we can talk more than the other because that's a okay. What you think will? I already give you the answer. Tell me what you think about 1 year from now.
So okay, I'm gonna read off some of these pop reports that I have here.
You really are prepared, man.
My answer, no, because I feel I come at it from a collector's point of view. So I'm just now getting this other flow. So I'm gonna read off just players that I love, right? That I hunt. Baggio, he has 105 of the yellow border. Romario has 59 of his first issue. Zidane has 83. R9 has 156 of the portrait, 61 of the action shot.
Okay.
Henri has 72. Xavi of his Mundi Chromo, 121 of the 56. He has 25, 19A8. The Este, 39. Dino, 63. Iniesta Mundi Chromo, 199. The 392 action shot, 39. The portrait, the 419, pop 17. That's that side of the list. That sounds ridiculously low, in my opinion, of those pop reports, right?
I agree.
Now, on this side, you look at Rivaldo, Cafu, Roberto Carlos of their first issues, 44, 27, 34. Maldini, Matheus, and Georges Weah, you look at 77, 35, and 14. Okay. Samuel Eto'o and Kaká, 38 and 21. You look at Lua and Benzema. And Lua, we have the portrait at 56, the action at 152.
Leva, not Lua.
No, Lua. Sorry, I call him Lua.
Okay.
Lewandowski, I'm American, Andre.
No
problem. Him and Benzema, it's 56 portrait, 162 action. Benzema is 70 of the foot. And the WCCF is 16, which is quote unquote true rookie.
Yeah, that's really.
So I look at those numbers and I feel that there's going to be like a slowly, this is a tsunami. I think right now it's rumbling. The earthquake happened already in 2020. I think people are slowly getting into this field. I think we're so many small amounts right now. I don't think. I look at those pop numbers and I feel that when those pop numbers hit 500, 1,000, where will the market be for real? I mean, if they're that low right now, I think a lot of folks thought that they were early, they were late. I think we're still early. I still think the market's going to go down tremendously the next year and a half. I don't see. There's only two ways that I feel the market could get exposure, and that's as Messi or CR7 win a World Cup or Team USA advances. That's how I feel that the market will get the best uptick, in my opinion, right? Those three options.
But Andrés, let me say just one thing. I'm sorry. I think certain stickers, I mean, I don't want to say never, but for example, I don't think the Panini Foot Zidane will go to 1K copies, at least in a lifetime. That makes sense for us, if that makes sense. I'm talking 10 years from now, who knows? But I doubt, honestly. But that stuff is really difficult.
And that's where the premium of unstuck will reign supreme.
No, yes. If you go by stuck,
there's going to be PSA 1s and 2s, like a large amount of that. I honestly feel.
No, yes. with that I agree. For example, but if you try to find a copy without with back, that's a beautiful sticker with back, or without glue on the back, that's difficult for that sticker. And you agree with me, right? But
yeah, no, that's where the premium and those prices I think are going to soar.
But in the other end, think about this. In the other end, there is certain sets that people need to be a little bit more careful. For example, Mundichrome. If you tell me that Mundichrome Xavi one day will be 1,000, I would say probably that's likely in my perspective. Takes time, but that's likely. But if you tell me that sticker you have for Xavi, the Panini sticker will be 1K, I would say no chance. I mean, no chance. I always feel. But even that sticker to be 100 copies, I think will take long time. A lot of
it's just I feel our market is so young that it's going to take so much research, and people like me, I feel that I found the perfect lane to get the right information. But it's going to be hard for a lot of people to do that, which Intel is going to take a lot of time to fill out all these pop reports for pre-modern.
Think about
That's
this,
why
Andrés.
the long-term play is where it's at for pre-modern.
Think about this. Messi is probably the player with the most demand in the market. And if you look at the ST sticker, is not even 200 copies on PSA.
Yeah.
So
that's shocking to me.
That's shocking. and think about this. Certain players, the pop report is more real than other players. This is another thing that people need to be aware. If you look at pop reports for Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, even Pelé, Maradona maybe less, but even Pelé, those guys, even if the pop is a little bit huge in certain cards, I personally trust the pop more on those guys because I know people are looking very grinding very hard of Europeans markets, etc. If you start talking about the player and for example, Benzema is a good example. Benzema, great player, but his market is now exploding. Why? Because people are showing interest right now for Benzema. So people need to be a little bit careful with the pop for Benzema. 1 year from now, maybe the perception will be different. I would say, you know what? Look, actually, the Panini foot is difficult to find. But right now, I would be a little bit more careful because people are grinding the French market. People are grading those. And sometimes people say that pre-modern does not have true rarity. And I would say I tend to agree with that. That being said, is all about trying to target the correct stuff. For example, and repeating myself, the Messi. If you target the Messi SS sticker, that sticker is really difficult to find, in my opinion, putting in perspective how many people are looking for the sticker. Xavi, very good example. Don't target the Mundichrome, target that sticker, or even the Barcelona 99s that also feel quite difficult to find. Iniesta, don't target the Mundichrome, target the Superliga de Estrelas. Another nice thing for you that I'm not sure if you are aware, Benzema Panini foot. Don't touch it, Benzema Panini foot. There is now people end up discovering a McDonald's card for Benzema that is also a rookie. Again, I know it will be difficult to find, but if you go to those type of niches, there is things that are quite difficult to find. People are not aware, but another good example was the Buffon. Don't touch it, the Calciatore. Try to find the Japanese version.
Make it hard, like, because
exactly.
There is a ton of this stuff. I still think the wave of people knowing of how valuable this stuff can be, it's still hitting all the markets. Like there's folks now, like I've bought stuff from people for $20-$30 that is worth hundreds of dollars, and you can look at the other stuff that they sell and it has nothing to do with football. So you kind of know that there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a ton of stuff out there. But I think for the stuff that's 80s and 90s, the unstuck will reign supreme. You know what I mean? I think as time goes on, those French foot stickers from like 89, 88 to like 96, those are going to be, I think, incredible. Those are real rainbows. Every year the foot has a different color. Like, and once people see how they're hard to keep in great condition, how they weren't released on a global scale, it's going to explode. I mean, it just feels like we're just waiting for people to enter our party. Like we're inside the party, dancing, drinking champagne. We're just waiting for more people to join the party. And I think as people join the party, our market, our culture is going to increase. And I think that you can't beat the number one sport in the world. You just can't. You can't beat football. There's no way to beat football. And going forward, this is a hobby that it just transcends race, religion, culture. It goes above all that, because soccer is a language. It's not a sport. That's how people communicate. Like, we could go to Africa, we could go to the Philippines, we could go to Colombia. Everybody knows Messi. Everybody knows CR7. Everybody knows Ronaldinho. Like, that's crazy to me how it's just, I feel we thought that we were early, then we thought we were late. We're very early, man.
No, this is just, at least for me, this is just the beginning. I mean, I say all the time on my videos, we are just getting started. I really mean that. I mean, I feel like 10 years from now, I will be interviewing you again. So
these pop reports is just ridiculous to say that only 2 or 3 of them were over 100. That's scary.
No, I mean, think about the Ronaldinho or the Zidane sticker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to, even right now, to see that there is already more people looking for those stickers than the real supply out on the market. And my idea is that the demand will increase, with that supply also potentially increase, but I don't see them falling the same line. I see demand completely outpacing supply. I would not be surprised if a lot of those stickers, maybe people call me crazy on this, but stickers like, for example, Ibrahimovic rookie, crazy difficult to find. That Xavi sticker, the Ronaldinho sticker, those for me are historical stickers that can be one day in a museum. You know, they are so difficult to find. And of course, we are talking about pre-modern. If you go to vintage, I'm not even on that market that much, but if you start talking about Puskás, Miazza, all of those crazy legendary players, that stuff is crazy.
Exactly. It goes. No,
things
and
get
that's
even crazier.
A whole other topic right there.
Of course, I would say the demand, in my perspective, will always be a little bit stronger for pre-modern because of the nostalgia effect, because of demographics. But that being said, I also think vintage have a tremendous upside, honestly.
Those guys that collect vintage, let me just say, my respects to those guys, because those guys.
I love vintage.
Bro, yeah, when they see something comes up that is the definition of rare, those prices balloon so fast, because those guys, they know that, you know, time in the market beats timing the market. Like they know that certain issues don't come out a lot. And you see when certain old cars from 1902, 1901, they'll go for 2,000 or 3,000. And you see how they'll go cutthroat for that stuff, because they've known about this stuff. Like in our thing, we're still learning right now what's really rare. Like I feel like we don't know to the full extent the print runs and where things were released, but to know those guys that they have a better, you know, like those dudes are cold, man. That's a whole nother topic right there. And my respect to all collectors.
So the last question for you, and to finish the podcast, because this is already super long, was your unpopular opinion in the market. You said that you think prices can potentially be going down, correct? Explain your thoughts a little bit better on that front.
Let me just say I'm drinking Chimay beer. It's one of our sponsors tonight.
No, it's not a sponsor.
Then a disclaimer. I drink good beer and I talk soccer with goats. Let me just get out the way. I think right now the market is bleeding. It's going to keep getting slaughtered. I don't see it going up unless it's certain rare releases like we saw with the Forza. We saw it with the what's called like Pushkas. Like we saw with that one, it hit astronomical like levels. I think that a lot of the, our thing, obviously, 1980 to 2013 is going to continue to trickle down. I don't see it going up in this World Cup unless, America really goes crazy, or you know what I'm saying, like, or Messi or CR7 win. I don't see the market going up for a while, and I think people need to realize that that is not something where you put money in and you get money out. You got to really understand the surface, the crevice, every single thing of the market. This is a long-term hold. I don't think this is a short-term hold. If you think this is a short-term hold, you're probably chasing 2022 rookies and orange lavas and all that type of stuff. For our market, I feel it's growing. It's going to take a while, but that's the beauty of it. Are you patient enough to really wait this out? Are you patient enough to really follow your gut, your instinct, your brain, and to realize that this is the number one sport in the world? This is a sport that everybody in every corner of the country understands. You just give them a ball and they'll play football. This is a sport that is adored by millions. Its players are legends. They're gods. You know what I mean? They're literally gods. Like
Maradona is Dios.
The god. He literally has a religion named after. Like, this is real. And I just feel that people, if you're in this to make a quick buck, I honestly feel you're in the wrong business. I think if you are collecting right now pre-modern, I think is a good time to really be consolidating, to really be reorganizing your blueprint, to really be looking at what's really rare in your opinion now that you've been in the market a while. What have you seen rarely come up? What have you seen come up too much? What have you seen shoot up in demand? What have you seen drop in demand? And really make key decisions and really be confident. Like you have to have a certain swag in this game. If you're not really into this, you're going to make horrible decisions because it's going to be emotional decisions. And in business, I feel the key is making those room temperature decisions. You're not excited, you're not angry, you're following your knowledge, what you've learned, and what you believe in. Your core, what's called like fundamentals that you really feel are going to take you to that next level. In my case, I'm collecting for my children. I'm thinking that each card could be a vacation somewhere. You know what I mean? Like my daughter could sell a 2001 Panini Foot Dino, in 8 years, get 6K for it and go to the south of France. Like that's how I see it as. Like I obviously that's a whole nother thing, right? But I see it as college tuition. I see it as making life comfortable for them. For me, it's a challenge. It's a hunt. It's a sport. I was born for this. As American, you're always taught to be the best. There's always a trophy at the end of the road. So in my opinion, it's like, I want to be the best collector I could be. As far as competition, I compete with myself. I try to, be better at my discipline, at my core fundamentals, what I'm researching, what I'm hunting, what's selling for what, and find people that are really going to help you build your stash and your energy. There's a lot of negative people. Stick to positive people. Stick to people that collect and have passion for it, and your collection will grow. You know what I mean? Like, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I've met amazing people. I feel that I found a way to put money aside for in 10, 20 years. It's going to come back. And I'm excited about that. Like, I always tell my kids, like, you trade a couple cards, y'all are at Disneyland. You trade a couple cards, you have a house. You trade a couple cards, you can start a business. You can start growing things, you know what I mean? And keep going with it. And that's what it's about. And man, I'm grateful for you. you already know how I feel about your channel, about your content. I've always publicly stated this and privately stated this. I believe you're such an important part of my PC, of my growing, of my collecting. Your channel has helped so many people from across the world. And wait till it hits 5,000 viewers. Wait till it hits 10,000 viewers. It's gonna be amazing to know that all this work that you are putting in is gonna be, you know what I mean? It's going to give you shade going forward. So yeah, I'm a little drunk, but that's all right, man. That's what it's about today, man.
No, it's all good. I mean, thanks for the words. Again, I put a lot of work on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. This stuff takes time. Preparing the questions, my slides. I know they are not super professional, but I take time doing those. But I again, if I believe in the market, I know my YouTube channel potential will also grow, because I feel like we are just getting started. And in the end, I met so many people already because of the channel. I met you. I met. Look at my Discord. So we are more than I believe 500 members. So all because of the YouTube channel. So for me, this has been an amazing journey, and I still believe what I'm saying. We are just getting started. So be ready, because there is much more coming. And yeah, Andrés, any final words? This was too long. I believe my phone is already dying. So final message.
Final message is subtract the negativity from your life. Develop a plan. Mentally and physically and emotionally. Find a way to be happy in those three. And remember that everything you do is a memory. Like don't get mad because somebody outbid you. Don't get mad because a comp went lower than what you thought. That's life. Do life. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep adapting. And love, you know, is passion. It's purpose. Have that feeling of whatever you do, go hard into it. Really focus. Really prepare. Really
enjoy the
have,
grind.
You know what I mean? Like really go hard on it and enjoy what you do. If you don't like this, if you're not laying in bed at 1:30 in the morning and you're checking your phone when you're half asleep, if you're not waking up to DMs on Instagram from Nils telling you that, dude, this just popped up. If you don't get it, I'll get it. That's what makes my life fun. Like I have everything else in order. Me and you kind of spoke on this earlier, where we're blessed that we're able to put in time in this hobby, and so, you know, appreciate every second you have, and go hard, man. Get what you want. Fuck the price. If you really want something,
enjoy the grind. People need to enjoy the grind in the end.
Grind.
Otherwise,
enjoy it. Don't be so negative, man. Have some, you know, positive vibes, man.
No, for sure.
That's it, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you so much, man. You already know.
Hey, Andres, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Again, I will leave all the links for your Instagram. It will be below your camera, but I will also put on the description. I suspect a lot of people will check you out, and keep sharing your journey, because that's what I enjoy, and I feel that's what more people would enjoy. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this interview. It was a long one, but I think it was a fun one. And yeah, see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, and bye.